Hello everybody. So today I'll be discussing a little bit more about the Euler system. So I guess the gist is the Euler system is more of a predictive system rather than a reactive system. It tries to detect, early volatility and, the market risk so that the overall entire system for Amplifin can adjust, how much liquidity it should have. So the score is, from 0 to 100, 0 being, market euphoria, and 100 being, market Armageddon. The market risk is too high. So yeah, let's get started. So you should be able to clone your repository, and yeah, once you are able to clone your repository, you should be able to go to here. So go ahead, install your, install your requirements, and you should be able to do it. So I think, one thing that's going to be standardized for, not just Euler, but the entire Amplifin ecosystem is it's going to be highly customizable. So, I think early on, I had it so that the open source system was focused on making everything free, but turns out, a lot of people use different data sources. Some people use Wi-Fi, some people use Data Bento, some people, use Tingo or something in between. So, or App Vintage. But, regardless, we could now customize our system now. So this could be done through the adapter interface. So, the adapter interface, you have to, implement these three methods. For the Buffett indicator, you could just say, raise not implemented error. For this last one, for the fetch historical data, because Buffett indicators don't have historical data for this web scraper. But the purpose of the adapter is, to standardize our data entry. So if you want to get, let's say, the VIX score, then all you have to do is pass into Wi-Fi adapter. If you use Data Bento, you could pass to the Data Bento adapter or IBKR client, and you could get the live, last quote for, VIX. But yeah, all of these are, live adapters. So yeah, that's that. Yeah, I guess also clients, very highly customizable. All you need is, just run, get name, and get description. You don't need these two. We're pretty much going to be using the run method. So, fetch client, inference client, processing client. So it goes from fetch, which fetches all the indicators and their last quote. The processing client standardizes, the raw scores to, computed scores. So you can also customize this however you want. This is what's just being done on the Amplifin side. And finally, we have the inference client. From this inference, what is the market regime looking like? What's the score relatively look like? So is it extremely calm, or is it, crisis mode? So we also have the indicator interface, and you're going to see a lot of this pattern. So you could also add, different interfaces. So right now we could have acceleration indicators, velocity indicators, but we don't have that right now. We just have live indicators. So, we have the Buffett indicator, the put call indicator. So I think one thing I want to highlight is, from the adapters, we're always going to be calling fetch last quote. So we have to define what, adapter we have to use for each index. So, for the VIX index and the skews and call put ratios, we just want to use Wi-Fi adapter because that's all we're using. We're just going to call fetch last quote for those adapters. For a Buffett indicator, we're going to call for the Buffett indicator adapter. And if you want to add a new adapter, you could just, import it right here and then just specify over here. And put put the list of, add it to the list of indicators right here. Last thing I want to point out is this indicators to weight. This just shows, this is more of a linear weight. It is a linear weight system rather than an ensemble learning system. And the reason why, it's not an ensemble learning system is because it's really overkill. There's like no, performance enhancement when we had ensemble learning going on for Euler system, which is why we switched to linear system. And linear system does, work faster. It processes faster. Right now it's being run on an M chip series. It's really fast, but even for ensemble learning, when we had ensemble learning, it didn't really run fast on my older laptop, but this was able to run really fast on the older laptop as well. And there was really no performance difference. So yeah. Also, this is fully customizable. This is just what the ratio is like in Amplifin. All you have to make sure is that this is adding up to 100%, but you could customize it. If you think the VIX index is more important, you could customize it to 0.5, just subtract it from somewhere else like the buffer indicator, or whichever indicator you feel is a little bit less valuable. So yeah, I think that is that. And yeah, if you want to add a new indicator, you could just implement these 3 functions. And that's it. So control. This is probably the most important tab. So I think let's start off with run continuous equals false. So run continuously I think is very intuitive. Do we want to run it only once to see what the market conditions like, or do we want to run it 0 time? Do we run it continuously? If we want to run it continuously, just run true. Just have it as true. If you don't want to run it continuously, then have it as false. So let's just run it one time. So let's see what it says. So Python. Oh, also if you want to run it, you have to all we have to run is the system client. It's gonna run all the clients. So let's see what the market conditions, what market score is like. Okay, very nice. So the market score is 65.20, and as I said, you could adjust the weights. I mean, if you wanted, you could say, let's say you value the VIX index a lot. Let's say I value 0.15, and I don't value the 6-month term slope that much. Let's say, what's the score like now? Okay, very interesting. So it is the same. What if this was 0.5, this was, let's say, 0.11. So yeah, as you see, different scores. We do get different scores. Yeah, this was previous 65.42. If we value the VIX indicator more, then it's a little bit lower. But yeah, that's in nutshell what run continuously means. Let's do run continuously equals true. By default, that's gonna keep running in the console. It's just gonna keep running in the console, update itself. Let's do GUI mode equals true. And before I do GUI mode equals true, I want to show it in the system client. Right now we have it sleep for 60 seconds. This is highly customizable. You don't have to, have to sleep. The only reason why we have to sleep is we used a Y-Finance adapter for this example. Yahoo Finance does rate limit. Y-Finance it's a decent repository, but Yahoo Finance does rate limit. So let's speed this up. Let's say we want to update every 10 seconds. I guess, yeah. And yeah, let's keep running. So I think control says it is true. GUI mode is true. Okay. We want to run continuously. Let's see how this goes. Hopefully Yahoo Finance doesn't rate limit us. Okay, so we got our first score. And we should keep going. Oh wow, okay, so it slopes a little bit up. Yeah, let's keep it a little bit, running a little bit more. Okay, so you see how it auto scales, it does auto scale. But basically you're gonna be able to see, a graphical I guess view of how the market risk score is going. Right now it's just going like this. But yeah, so I think, the goal of this really is to get just one numerical answer of, what is the risk of the market? What's the overall risk of investing right now? And from there, it's a score between 0 to 100. For Amplifin, it uses this number to, keep track of how much liquidity it should have. So right now it's about like 35% liquid, cash. So it just updates that every morning. So yeah, that's in a nutshell what the GUI mode is. Okay, so I think we should run it again, actually. Oh, I do want to show the other side. We also have indicator detail tabs, which populates, what's the raw value, and how much weight we have, and how much contribution it gives to the overall score. So, something new. Okay, so let's keep going. Now we have, the mode that I think is most useful for Amplifin, which is the broadcast mode. So what is the broadcast mode? Broadcast mode actually broadcasts, the signal that is generated from the system client to the network, which is the broadcast network being 27.0.0.1, which is the local network, and the broadcast port being 5001. You can customize this however you want. This is just so that this is done on the local machine. So I think correct wording, you should probably have this as local network and local port or something like that, but we could change that in a little bit. Python 3. Let's run the client again. And let's have the signal being picked up. Let's do Python 3, E2E, test, E2E, test broadcast receiver. Okay, so it's able to receive, from this, from the local network, from the port, this packet. And it's able to continuously receive this. It should be. Yes, and now it is. So change rate 65.13, 65.12. And it's using this, it's running continuously because I'm running continuous. So, yeah. There we go. And the dots, I think the purpose of this test is just to see, okay, from the local network, from the port, are we able to get the data packet, which we are, which is what the enterprise system is going to use. The overall Amplifin system is going to, receive this packet and then update it every morning. How much liquidity the system should keep. So, yeah, that's the presentation in a nutshell. So, thank you for listening. I will, show a little bit more of a demo of how to implement each, how to implement an indicator as well as an adapter in the future. But yeah, this is how, the Euler system works. And yeah, thank you for watching.